Hello and welcome to the 17th week of Season 23, Season of the Wish, starting on March 19th, 2024. So, for week 17, let's get going with our Legacy rotation, starting with the Forsaken expansion.
Ready if you are. Let's see what's out there.
The Dreaming City this week is at a weak curse level, which means Petrovenge can be found in the Strand, and has the Broken Courier mission for the next week. The Blind Well features Scorn enemies and the Plagues, Sicarus and Veracus. The Ascendant challenge this week will be the Forfeit Shrine, which can be located over in the Gardens of Vasilia on the Dreaming City. Next up, the Shadowkeep expansion. On the Moon, the weekly story mission is Beyond. The Trove Guardian is located in Archer's Line, while the Wandering Nightmare is the Nightmare of Hawkis in the Anchor of Light. And the Nightmare hunts this week will be Fogoth, Fear, Ghoul, Rage, and Tanick's Isolation. For our Beyond Light expansion, on Europa this week, Credis the Dark Priestess will be the Empire Hunt, Eventide Ruins will be the Eclipse Zone, and the Exo Challenge will be Survival. For the 30th Anniversary expansion, Dares of Eternity Legendary rounds are Vex, Cabal, and for the final round, Crota. The loot rotation will be on week 4's rotation, with the Scatterhorn armor set and the Pathfinder armor set being available. The weapons available this week will be the Stasis Precision Frame Shotgun Fractathis, the Solar High Impact Frame Auto Rifle Cryosura Milo, the Stasis Precision Frame Hand Cannon Vulpicula, the Arc Precision Frame Bow Wolftone Draw, the Solar High Impact Frame Fusion Rifle Iotona Draconis, the Solar Rapid Fire Frame Heavy Grenade Launcher Canis Major, the Arc Vice Rapid Fire Frame Scout Rifle Contingency Plan, the Kinetic High Impact Frame Pulse Rifle Legal Action 2, the Solar Rapid Fire Frame Heavy Grenade Launcher Outrageous Fortune, the Void Adaptive Frame Sword Steel Syllabus C14, and the Kinetic Lightweight Frame Sidearm Spoiler Alert. For the Witch Queen expansion, the Witch Queen weekly story mission is The Arrival, where the modifiers are Scorched Earth and Fire Pit, as well as Barrier and Unstoppable champions. Also this week you'll have Altar of Reflections Catalyst and Altar of Reflections Insight. The Wellspring activity has been updated to include a featured Throne World weapon, Veritas armor, and a weapon pattern as its rewards. For the Lightfall expansion, the weekly mission is First Contact, with extra shields, block loadouts, and extra champions. Barrier and Unstoppable champions, Void Threat, Scorched Earth, Overcharged Weapons, Stasis and Solar Surges, Overcharged Shotguns, and Galvanized on Hero difficulty only. The Partition mission will be Backdoor, Contest Mode enabled with Barrier and Overload champions, Void Threat, Arc and Solar Shields, Shocker modifier with Solar and Stasis Surges. And the Vex incursion this week will be Zephyr Concourse. In addition, the weekly Lightfall reset also refreshes the Pinnacle drop for the Node Override Avalon Exotic mission on the EDZ, and the Starcrossed Exotic mission in the Helm. For the Season of the Deep, all 3 fishing ponds are now exotic all week. Raids and Dungeons. The Crota's End raid challenge this week is the 3rd encounter, Ear-Ute the Deathslinger, called Equal Vessel. All 6 players must rotate the Chalice of Light buff in the same order throughout the entire fight. Each player cannot hold the Chalice again before all 5 other players have. Plus, if you complete the weekly challenge on Master, you'll get an Adept weapon. The Adept weapon you get is a random drop, but works on a knockout system. You will get a new one with every challenge you complete every week until you've unlocked them all. The Root of Nightmares raid challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Nezarec, called All Hands. Each player in your fire team must trigger 1 node on each side before the damage phase begins. The Kingsfall raid challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Daughters of Oryx, called Under Construction. Players cannot stand on the same plate twice in a single phase. The Vow the Disciple challenge this week is the 1st encounter, Acquisition, called Swift Destruction, where Guardians must kill all champions within a few seconds of each other on all rounds. The Vault of Glass challenge this week is the 5th encounter, Atheon, called Ensembler's Refrain. Each player teleported can only destroy 1 oracle in each spawn set. The Garden of Salvation challenge this week is the 3rd encounter, Consecrated Mind, called Staying Alive, where you must not kill the spawning Cyclopses in the first 2 rooms. And the Last Wish challenge this week is the 4th encounter, Vault, called Keep Out. Guardians must ensure that no Might of Riven Knights make it to the Center Chamber during the Vault fight. Your Pinnacle raid will be the Deep Zone Crypt over on Europa, which means all challenges will be available for each encounter. These are the 1st encounter, Crypt Security, called Red Rover. This is where all Guardians must be an operator and shoot the 2 panels on the lower levels. The 2nd encounter, Atrax 1, called Copies of Copies, where you must not send any Atrax 1 replicant debuffs into the airlock/space. The 3rd encounter, Tanick's Part 1, called Of All Trades. Guardians must perform each role at least once, Operator, Scanner and Suppressor. And the 4th encounter, Tanick's, called The Core 4. Guardians must dunk all 4 cores before each DPS phase. Also, with the Deepstone Crypt being the featured raid, this does mean that you can farm the final boss for a chance at the exotic rocket launcher, Eyes of Tomorrow. The Pinnacle dungeon will be the Pit of Heresy on the Moon. And the exotic mission rotator will be Presage, with the Dead Man's Tale exotic scout rifle being the main reward. Craftable weapons available from this mission include the Arc Adaptive Glaive, Nezarex's Whisper, the Stasis Aggressive Frame rocket launcher, Bump in the Night, the Kinetic Precision Frame scout rifle, Tears of Contrition, the Void Adaptive Frame trace rifle, Hollow Denial, the Kinetic Precision Frame auto rifle, Firefright, the Solar Lightweight Frame shotgun, Without Remorse, the Kinetic Adaptive Frame hand cannon, Stringer, the Solar Sidearm, Drang Baroque, the Solar Adaptive Frame sniper, Beloved, and the Solar Submachine gun, Callus Mini Tool, with the Eidolon Pursuant armor set. Next up, challenges. We have now had all 66 challenges over the first 10 weeks of the season. So, as a reminder, if you complete 63 out of the 66, you can get a large pile of Bright Dust to spend at the Eververse store in-game. Here's a few that you might have missed that you might want to get completed in the next few months. Boss Battle. Defeat bosses in Strikes or Vanguard playlists. Bonus progress is granted for defeating bosses on Hero difficulty or higher. 4. Challenge XP+++ and Bright Dust. Over Specialised. Get 100 final blows with weapons using special ammo in ritual activities. Earn bonus progress by defeating Guardians. 4. Challenge XP++ and Bright Dust. Darkest Nightfall. Complete any Nightfall strike on Hero difficulty or higher. Bonus progress is granted for completing Nightfalls above Hero difficulty. 4. Challenge XP++, Bright Dust and a Nightfall weapon. Taking all challenges. Complete weekly playlist challenges. 4. Challenge XP+ and Bright Dust. Throne World activities. In the Throne World, complete bounties and earn progress by completing patrols, public events and looting lost sectors. 4. Challenge XP and Bright Dust. Round and round we go. Generate orbs of power in Vanguard, Gambit or Crucible playlists. 4. Challenge XP+++ and Bright Dust. Absolutely stunning. Stun 50 champions. 4. Challenge XP+++ and Bright Dust. And Mod Collector. Unlock 12 artifact mods. 4. Challenge XP++ and Bright Dust. Hello! As a reminder, your daily lost sector will show you a flag outside which will give you details of threats, shields, champions and exotic armor you will find inside. But if you're new to the game or using an alternate character and can't find the flag outside, you will have to run through the lost sector normally to have it show up on your map as a legend/master, which you can either do solo or with a fire team, but you'll only be able to earn a chance at the exotic drop when completing solo. This season will see the introduction of Gunsmith engrams, as well as a selection of foundry weapons for completing Legend and Master lost sectors while solo, with Legend being a 70% chance to Master being 100%, assuming the Guardian is thorough enough to leave no champion standing. Thorough completions on Master difficulty will also have the advantage of weapons dropping an additional perk in either the third or fourth column. The weapons available from the lost sectors are grouped into 4 weapons per day over 4 days, and after the 4th day the cycle repeats back to the first set. The following weapons will be available from the lost sectors during the Season of the Wish. Day 1, the Strand High Impact Frame Fusion Rifle Nox Perennial 5, the Strand Adaptive Frame Auto Rifle Old Sterling, the Solar Rapid Fire Frame Grenade Launcher Marsilian C, and the Stasis Omolon Adaptive Frame Sidearm Senua SI6. Day 2, the Stasis High Impact Frame Pulse Rifle Psychomatic 5, the Strand Precision Frame Scout Rifle Glissando 47, the Strand Vice Rapid Fire Frame Sniper Rifle Urakanji, and the Arc Adaptive Frame Sword Nazaruddin. Day 3, the Solar Lightweight Frame Sidearm Heliocentric QSC, the Kinetic Aggressive Frame Sniper Rifle Last Foray, the Arc Aggressive Frame Shotgun Hand in Hand, and the Kinetic Lightweight Frame Pulse Rifle Battle Scar. Day 4, the Nadir Void Adaptive Frame Sword Geodetic HSM, the Arc Aggressive Frame Hand Cannon Combined Action, the Void Wave Frame Grenade Launcher Harsh Language, and the Solar Adaptive Frame Auto Rifle Coronacha 22. This week's rotation will start on Weapon Set 1 on Tuesday's reset. Tuesday, March 19th will be Chamber of Starlight on the Dreaming City for exotic chests, Solar Threat, Solar and Stasis Surges, Void and Solar Shields, Epitaph Modifier, Overcharged Swords with Overload and Unstoppable Champions. Wednesday, March 20th will be Partition on Europa for exotic helmets, Arc Threat, Solar and Stasis Surges, Arc and Void Shields, Shocker Modifier, Overcharged Fusion Rifles with Barrier and Overload Champions. Thursday, March 21st will be Bunker E15 on Europa for exotic boots, Void Threat, Solar and Stasis Surges, Void Shields, Shocker Modifier, Overcharged Grenade Launchers with Barrier and Overload Champions. Friday, March 22nd will be Concealed Void on Europa for exotic gauntlets, Solar Threat, Solar and Stasis Surges, Void and Solar Shields, Arachno Modifier, overcharged trace rifles with barrier and overload champions. Saturday, March 23rd will be Thrillerdrome on Neptune for exotic chests, Void Threat, Solar and Stasis Surges, Arc and Void Shields, Shocker Modifier, overcharged grenade launchers with barrier and overload champions. Sunday, March 24th will be Gilded Precept on Neptune for exotic helmets, Arc Threat, Solar and Strand Surges, Void and Solar Shields, Scorched Earth Modifier, overcharged glaives with barrier and unstoppable champions. And finally, back round to Monday, March 25th will be Scavenger's Den on the EDZ for exotic boots, Solar Threat, Solar and Strand Surges, Arc Shields, Scorched Earth Modifier, overcharged fusion rifles with barrier and overload champions.
Lead the way.
Our 17th feature, Nightfall, will see us face off against the DA in the Corrupted over on the Dreaming City, where you have a chance to get a Pinnacle engram if you complete the Nightfall with a score of 200k or more. This Nightfall is free to play. You'll be able to earn high-end gear for your characters, including the Nightfall featured weapon, exotic gear, enhancement cores, enhancement prisms, Ascendant shards and Adept Nightfall ciphers. The higher the Nightfall difficulty, the more common the drop will be, with the featured weapon and exotic gear being uncommon at hero difficulty to being common with Ascendant shards in Grand Masters. Legend and lower Nightfalls will have 3 overload and 6 unstoppable, with 22 solar, 30 void and 15 arc shields. Masters and GMs will have 8 overload and 10 unstoppable, with 20 solar, 28 void and 14 arc shields. Your Nightfall modifiers are hero difficulty, maximum effective level 1765, matchmaking is available, enemies have extra shields, champions foe, you will face overload and unstoppable champions, you can either use intrinsic exotics, use a subclass debuff, or unlock anti-champion mods from the seasonal artifact. Overcharged weapons, weapons overcharged from the seasonal artifact are active in this activity. Kinetic weapons do increase damage when your subclass element matches an active surge. Arc threat, 25% increase to incoming arc damage. Denial, taken vandals summon their shields more often. Arc surge, 25% bonus to outgoing arc damage. Void surge, 25% bonus to outgoing void damage. Overcharged weapons, 25% bonus damage with rocket launchers. Galvanized, combatants have more health and are more difficult to stun. Legend difficulty, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. No matchmaking. Equipment locked, you will be unable to change your equipment after this activity starts. Master difficulty, maximum effective level 1820, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized. Champions mob, this difficulty adds more champion enemies. Chafe, radar is disabled. Grandmaster difficulty, maximum effective level 1815, includes all previous modifiers except Galvanized and Denial. Joining progress disabled. Extinguish, if your fighting falls in a restricted zone, your team is returned to orbit. Limited revives, gain additional revives by defeating champions, up to a maximum of 20. Contest mode, which caps your power level to make enemies more of a challenge. And Epitaph, taking combatants generate blight geysers when defeated. To combat champions, you have access to subclass counters as well as a choice of intrinsic anti-champion artifact mods. This season's artifact is the Queen's Force Sensor. The anti-champion mods available this week are Overload Auto Rifle, Overload Pulse Rifle, and Overload Rocket Launcher, Unstoppable Hand Cannon, and Unstoppable Bow. You also have exotic weapons and armor that can help with intrinsic mods as well. For Overload, the Void Energy Bowler Monarch, the Arc Energy Linear Trace Rifle Divinity, the Arc Heavy Machine Gun Thunderlord, and the Warlock Exotic Boots the Secant Filaments, which when you drop an Empowering Lift, any weapon that is fired from inside the well can cause an Overload champion to be stunned. For Unstoppable, the Kinetic Fusion Rifle Bastion, the Kinetic Hand Cannon Malfeasance, the Kinetic Scout Rifle Touch of Malice, the Solar Energy Sidearm Devil's Ruin, the Void Heavy Bow Leviathan's Breath, the Titan Gauntlet Sash and Wake, where Fusion Grenade hits stun unstoppable champions, and the Hunter Gauntlet Zathras' Embrace, which have a chance to stun unstoppable champions with their empowered weighted knife. The Nightfall featured weapon to obtain this week will be the new Stasis Vortex Frame Sword, the Slammer. The Slammer has a base impact of 60, swing speed of 40 and charge rate of 20. It can roll with Cold Steel, Permeability and Bait and Switch, with Relentless Strike, Eager Edge and Chain Reaction. It has the origin trait of Vanguard Vindication, where final blows with a weapon grant a small amount of health, and Stunning Recovery, where if you stun a champion you partially refill the magazine, trigger health regen and improve your recovery for a short duration. Available in the 6v6 playlist will be Control. Control is a variation of Team Deathmatch, with the added variable of 3 capture points on the map, in which teams will need to work together to capture and hold the point. Guardians conquer capture points by standing on them while no enemies are in capture range. The process takes about 10 seconds and is not affected by the number of Guardians taking part in the capture. Each team begins with a capture point under their control, the one that is closest to their starting area. The third capture point will initially be neutral. Depending on the number of capture points held by a team, the points rewarded for killing an opponent varies. The scoring is calculated as follows. Base kill rewards +1 point. Zone advantage: when a team holds 2 capture points, killing an enemy will reward the team with 2 points. Power play: when a team holds all 3 capture points, killing an enemy will reward them with +3 points. Capture: conquering a capture point rewards the team that claimed it with +1 point. Capturing a point will reward you and your team a small portion of super energy. If you are on the point while it's captured, you will gain additional energy on top of this small portion. During a control match, there is only one power ammo spawn location. It will spawn in at 45 seconds and then every 120 seconds. Control matches feature an 8-minute time limit, and all players will respawn automatically 5 seconds after the death mechanics. The first team to 150 points, or the team that has the most points at the end of the time limit, is declared the winner. And Guardian Game Supremacy returns in the Party Relentless playlist. Guardian Game Supremacy is a 6v6 PvP mode which is a variation of Clash. With Guardian Game Supremacy, you will have the option to either play regular Supremacy or a class-based special version for the Guardian games. In Supremacy, every Guardian that falls will leave a class-based crest behind, and collecting those is the key to winning each match, no matter if they were dropped by a defeated enemy or by a fallen comrade. Securing opposing Guardian's crest will net the team 1 point, and collecting a fallen teammates will deny your opponent that point. Focus on recovering the crest to earn points and defeat the opposing team. Showdown will also be available in the 3v3 playlist. In Showdown, 2 teams of 3 compete in a round-based twist on the standard team deathmatch. Teams have to work together to score as many kills as they can across a series of 5-timed rounds. If each team manages to win 2 rounds apiece, a 5th Showdown round commences, in which each player has only 1 life, kicking off a tense elimination style tiebreaker. Rounds are 90 seconds with a score limit of 10. Revives are available, and reviving a down teammate before they respawn will take the point back from the opposing team. And available in the Crucible Labs playlist this week will be a new 3v3 King of the Hill mode, Collision. In Collision, a single larger zone will rotate between 5 points around the map on a timer, and capturing and controlling it will earn your team points. Zone scores +1 point when your team captures an active zone, and scores +1 point for each time interval your team controls the zone after. Captured zones will deactivate after a set time, and a new zone will appear somewhere else on the map. But be aware, in Collision there is no mercy rule. This version of Collision will test an alternative special ammo crate system, where 4 shareable special ammo crates will spawn simultaneously at the beginning of each game or round, and then on a timer afterwards. Each control zone located at A, B and C will have an associated special ammo crate, and the 4th crate will be in a neutral location. Also, players who currently have special ammo will drop special ammo bricks on death.
Delightful!
Saint14 will be back at the weekend with his mid-season refresh of Trials of Osiris Dominion, bringing with him a whole host of rewards for players who do make it to the lighthouse and open the chest. These include the Hero's Wake exotic Ghost Shell, the Valiant Memory exotic ship, the Survivor's Journey exotic Sparrow, the Visor Regalia shader, and high stat Trials armor. In this mid-season refresh we also have some new and returning weapons, including the Solar Adaptive Frame Auto Rifle the Summoner, which has a base impact of 21, a range of 40 and stability of 41. It can roll with Kill Clip, Onslaught and Target Lock, with Overflow, Dynamic Sway Reduction and Heal Clip. It has the Origin trait of Alacrity, where you gain increased reload, stability, aim assist and range when you are the last living member on your fire team or running solo. And One Quiet Moment, where you gain increased reload speed and handling when out of combat. And we have the new Stasis Aggressive Frame Scout Rifle, the Prophet, which has a base impact of 100, a range of 59 and stability of 29. It can roll with Golden Tricorn, Kill Clip and Cascade Point, with Discord, Enlightened Action and Rapid Hit. It also has the Origin trait of Alacrity and One Quiet Moment, with Text Balanced Stock, where damaging a target whilst firing from the hip increase handling, reload speed and movement speed whilst aiming down sights. If you need a refresh, Trials of Osiris Dominion is still going to be the game mode that we know, a 3v3 PvP high stakes game mode, where 2 teams of 3 go head to head in a battle for control of a capture point. Teams can either work together to capture the control point or eliminate the enemy team to win the round. Only available from Friday reset until Tuesday weekly reset, Trials gives every player the chance to show off their PvP skills to obtain some of Destiny's most sought after weapons and armour. Players that compete in Trials of Osiris will have all of their games tracked through a passage card, a ticket purchased from Saint14 in the lower hang of the tower. In this mid-season refresh, Saint14 is mixing things up with some new and revised passage cards. With the revised passage of Ferocity, if you have not been flawless for the week, losses after the 3rd win will reset your card back to the 3rd win instead of flawing your card, meaning you can try again for that flawless run without having to fully reset. And with the new passage of persistence, losses following a win will remove that win from your card. Consecutive losses do not remove additional wins. Getting to 7 wins grants you a drop of the weekly Adept weapon, regardless of how many losses you have taken. If your card is flawed, you will not be able to visit the Lighthouse, but 7 wins on the card guarantees an Adept drop. This card can be reset after 7 wins to try again for another drop. Saint 14 is also adding rewards for match completions by 3-person fire teams. You do not need to win to earn these rewards, but they are participation gated, so simply jumping off the map or sitting AFK in spawn will disqualify you from these rewards. You will also earn additional Trials reputation, a 50% chance at getting the non-Adept Trials weekly weapon, and a 50% chance at getting a Trials engram. But winning rounds and matches in Trials will guarantee weapons, armour, Pinnacle gear, Master materials, and even Adept weapons. For those most skilled players who can reach the Lighthouse with a flawless ticket of 7 games won with no losses, Adept weapons have a chance to drop with every win after your flawless run. 5 round wins will bag you the match for your passage card. Also, by competing in Trials, you do have the chance to pick up 2 Pinnacle engrams from playing each week, one from 50 round wins and the other from winning 7 games. These do not have to be done all in one go, but you do have to complete them before the weekly reset. This week's featured Adept weapon to earn will be the new Stasis Aggressive Frame Scout Rifle, the Prophet.
That is amazing.
Entering its 3rd and final week, we have Guardian Games All-Stars, where Hunters, Warlocks and Titans compete against each other for honour, gear and the bragging rights that comes with being the winners of the Guardian Games All-Stars. With this year's games, we have some cool loot to earn, including the brand new exotic vehicle, the Skimmer, a new Guardian Games Memento, previous Guardian Games weapons including the Strand Lightweight Frame Scout Rifle, the Traxapose, and the Void Aggressive Frame Submachine Gun, the Title, with new perk pools, and the new Arc Compressed Wave Frame Heavy Grenade Launcher, the Hullabaloo. To take part in the Guardian Games, you'll need to visit Eva Levante at the Tower, where she will gift you a class item which is needed for the competition as well as the quest. Wearing your class item is how you will earn medallions and unlock quest progression, as well as all the challenges for the event card. The goal of the Guardian Games All-Stars is simple. Your class must win the majority of days during the 3-week-long event, and that can only be done by depositing a ton of medallions. With that, Eva Levante will have a great variety of contender cards to choose from, divided between Gold, Platinum and Diamond, which is the new tier implemented for this year. The Diamond medallions awarded are worth a lot, so can change the course of the day, so they're limited to 3 a week. 2 of them are focused on endgame activities, one for PvE and one for PvP. And the 3rd is kind of unique. It's a Twitch drop from watching a Destiny 2 streamer for 2 hours during the week. All medallions Guardians bank in the tower will be counted daily, and the crests of the daily winning class will be inserted into the tower podium for everybody to keep track of their standings. Depending on your contribution to the Guardian Games All-Stars, you'll also earn glows and bragging rights that comes with them. At the end of the event, the class that wins the most days will be crowned the winner, and their class item will be changed to gold until the next event, to remind everybody of their victory. This year you can get more out of the event if you jump into a focused activity. These will rotate every few hours between Nightfall, Supremacy or Gambit. They will be live for 2 hours from Monday to Thursday and for 3 hours from Friday to Sunday. And they're a new great way to earn medallions and other rewards. Guardian Games All-Stars will be available from March 5th to March 26th, 2024.
Earn your honour, Guardian.
Also, for anyone who is just returning or catching up with content, we have Riven's Wishes, where players can visit Mara Sov in the Helm to accept a new weekly quest with a high-risk objective in the Dreaming City, such as completing legendary lost sectors or dungeons. Upon completion of these weekly objectives, players can return to Mara to receive a wish token. Each week you can use this token to choose a prize from one of the 3 different categories. Category 1, Last Wish Resonance, where you can choose a red bordered Last Wish raid weapon. These are the Kinetic Rapid Fire Frame Sniper Rifle Supremacy, the Kinetic High Impact Frame Scout Rifle Transfiguration, the Solar Adaptive Frame Rocket Launcher Apex Predator, the Kinetic Lightweight Frame Pulse Rifle Chattering Bone, the Arc Adaptive Frame Handgun and Nation of Beasts, the Arc Adaptive Frame Fusion Rifle Techium Force, the Solar Lightweight Frame Bow Tyranny of Heaven, and the Void High Impact Frame Auto Rifle Age Old Bond. Category 2, Exotics, where you can choose a piece of Lightfall Year Exotic Armour. For the Hunters, the Speedloader Slacks, Certarachne's Facade, Triton Vice, and the Mothkeeper's Wraps. For the Titans, the Cadmus Ridge Lance Cap, Abeyant Leap, a Bull Warden, and the Pyrogale Gauntlets. For the Warlocks, Ballador's Wrathweavers, Swarmers, Cenotaph Mask, and the Briarbinds. Category 3, Miscellaneous, where you can choose from a variety of other rewards, such as Dawning and Fest of the Lost mementos, Ascendant Shards, Ascendant Alloys, and Exotic Ciphers. Riven's Wishes will offer new quests for 6 weeks, but you will have time to complete them and earn rewards up through the Final Shapes release.
Get back out there.
Also continuing this week will be Moments of Triumph 2023, with a collection of 30 challenges celebrating everything you've been able to achieve in the past year. If you've been active, you'll likely already have some of these completed, which just gets you closer to getting the 26 you'll need for the 2023 title. Along the way, you'll also earn some event rewards, including the new Laurel Shell for your Ghost, and the Fire Guilt Quadrig Sparrow, plus access to purchase the 2023 Moments of Triumph shirt. This week we'll also see bonus Gambit ranks available all week long. And as a reminder, you can collect a free pile of 700 Bright Dust from the Eververse store every week up until the final shape's release. And that's it for the 17th week of Season of the Wish. Thank you for watching. Allons-y.
Guardian down.